Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It is time for another book haul, my favorite dang videos to film. And I don't know if it's because I just like to see all the books that I bought, like who doesn't like new books? Or if it's just because it's one of the easiest videos to film, and easy peasy lemon squeezy is my motto. What? These are just books that I have bought over the past couple of months. This is gonna be March and April. All right, so let's start with the books that I bought in March. Obviously starting with Book of the Month and Nightworms, because we had to. You guys, it's been 2 months already, so I guess April and May. I have skipped Book of the Month. Am I growing up? Am I becoming responsible? A responsible adult? You know, nothing has been really calling out to me in Book of the Month, which is like super weird. But anyways, I did get Book of the Month in March, and I did get 3 books. The first book that I got was One Italian Summer by Rebecca Surley. I don't know how to say that last name, but this was just an anticipated release for me. I don't know what it was, if it was just the Italian, the summer, but I do plan on reading this summer. I've heard that this is a hard-hitting contemporary book, which I need in my life right now. So I'm really excited for this one. I think this has to do with a mother and daughter relationship, and I think the mom passes away before they're supposed to take this trip to Italy, and I think the daughter ends up going alone and is grieving. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's what this book is about, and I cannot wait to read it. It's very short as well, so maybe next month or in July I'll just spend some time reading this, but I'm so excited for this book. Let me know if you've read this and your thoughts, without spoilers though, please. Then I also got the Book of Cold Cases. You guys, I have been reading this for like 2 months. No fault of the book. It's not that I'm not enjoying it. I am enjoying it, but I've had like a couple of readathons or buddy reads that I've had to complete. But I literally have like less than 20 pages left, so I'm hoping to finish it soon, and so far I'm enjoying it. I'm actually enjoying this one more than the Sundown Motel. This just has to do with this girl. She works at a doctor's office during the day, but at nighttime she dedicates her life or her time to this blog that she opened, which is called the Book of Cold Cases, and in it they talk about true crime and all these, you know, things that we all love. But one day she comes across this lady, and in that town where she lives, the lady is known as the Lady Killer, and she is said to have killed a few men back in the 70s. And somehow she ends up interviewing this woman, and she's like over the moon, but also very skeptical as to why this lady is agreeing to talk to her and be interviewed by her. So it's pretty interesting, and like I said, I'm liking it more than the Sundown Motel. I still have not read Broken Girls, I think it's the name of the other one. I haven't read that one, and I've heard that that one's her best, but so far I'm liking this one a lot. This is not a wrap-up, this is a book haul. Okay, and then the last book of the month that I got in March was The Paris Apartment, which I have already read, and it was okay. It wasn't, you know, it was neither here nor there. This is following the disappearance of a man that lives in this apartment complex, and his sister ends up coming to spend some time with him, but when she shows up at the apartments, he is missing. And so she's going on this whole long journey to find out what happened to her brother, because she knows that somebody in this apartment building in Paris knows something. And so it was all right. I mean, the Paris apartment, this could have been the New York apartment or the Atlanta apartment for all the Paris-ness that it had. It had no kind of Paris in it, so I don't understand the whole Paris apartment, other than like a lot of French words. There was a lot of French words in this damn book, so I guess that's the only reason why it's the Paris apartment, because I didn't get like the Paris atmosphere that I wanted. Why am I so hot right now? I am sweating balls. Sweating balls. That's what's going on right now on this end, on this side of the camera. I'm sweating balls. TMI. Let's talk about Nightworms, what we got for Nightworms, because I already own these 2 books and now I have doubles, but one of them is an ARC, so I'm glad to have a finished copy, and I haven't read either of these. So we got Certain Dark Things for March by Silvia Moreno Garcia. I still haven't read this one, and I received an ARC of this months and months and months ago. And then we also got Sundial by Catriona Ward. I was watching somebody, I think it was Ashley, and she said that the audiobook says her name as Katrina. So I think I'm gonna go with Katrina, even though I want to say Catriona Ward. So I don't know how her name is pronounced, but I've been saying Catriona Ward this whole entire time. This is another ARC that I've had for a really long time, and I still haven't read it, and now I have a finished copy. But I mean, this book is so beautiful. I don't know anything about this, and all I know about Certain Dark Things is that it's somewhat of a vampire novel, but I don't know much else, and I want to keep it that way. So I visited Books A Million in March. Why did I visit Books A Million? I know that it was like a celebration kind of thing, but I can't remember what happened in March because airhead. I ended up getting 3 books from Books A Million. The first one is Scottish Myths. If you are new here and don't know, I am obsessed with anything that's from Scotland or from Ireland. Those are like 2 places that I want to visit. Bucket list places. I don't know why, but just one day I woke up and I started researching pictures of like Scotland and Ireland, and I was like, oh my gosh, I need to go to those 2 places, and it needs to be now. There was even a point in time that I was looking at houses for sale in Scotland. I don't know, you guys, but I saw this and I had to have it. It was like $5 and I was like, yes, please. I also ended up picking up 7 Dirty Secrets by Natalie D. Richards. I own so many books by Natalie D. Richards and I have yet to read one, but this one was at the register when I went to pay. I was about to walk out with only 2 books. So proud of myself. But again, I saw this at the register and I was like, let's just add it. And it ended up being $5. So I was like, score. And then I ended up getting The Violence by Delilah S. Dawson. I have no idea what this book is about. I just kept hearing people talking about it and saying how good it was. And I was like, well, I guess I need it. Oh, look at the receipt from Books A Million is in here. That's fantastic. It says 3 generations of abused women must navigate their chilling new reality as a mysterious epidemic of violence sweeps the nation in this compelling novel of self-discovery, legacy, and hope. An epidemic of violence? Let's talk about some books that I received in the month of March by publishers or authors. That does not mean that I didn't buy any more books. We'll get back to the buying part later, but let's talk about some of the books that I received in the month of March. The first book that I got was sent from Raw Dog Screaming Press. I love Raw Dog Screaming Press. They ended up sending me The Ghost That Ate Us. I mean, look at that cover, how cute. This book doesn't come out till July, and I'm hoping to read it soon. Possibly do a reading vlog. I know I always say these things in my book hauls, like possibly do a reading vlog, and then they never come. I attempt them, guys. I attempt them. They just never make it to you guys. I really want to do a reading vlog where I read a few arcs, and I think this is going to be one of them, but I'm so excited to read this. It looks silly. It says, you remember the brutal crime, don't you? Maybe you read about it on Twitter. Maybe a friend sent you a news clip. Maybe you saw it on an episode of Spectral Journeys. That night you were flipping through channels, unable to sleep. Maybe after reading the true story, you won't ever sleep again. And then it talks about the story. So I'm guessing that it has to do with a true crime case, fictitious, and so I'm super eager. But this cover is so fun and it is so inviting for me because I love food. The next book, I got sent a message by one of my Bookstagram friends to see if I wanted his book. He has actually a few books out already. His latest release came out either this week or last week. I can't remember the name of it, but I'm dying to read it as well. But he messaged me to see if I wanted this book, and I was like, yes, please. And it is Ripper Country, and it is a collection of horror stories by Jack Harding. I will leave his Instagram link down below so you could check him out, but he's super fun and super nice. It says, welcome to Ripper Country, a semi-alternate Victorian London where imaginations run wild and madness reigns supreme, where the cobbled streets run red with the blood of the innocent and unscrupulous fiends come out to play. Inside these pages, you will find stories of fear, madness, suspense, and terror that will stay with you long after you turn the last page. right up my alley. So excited to read this, and this cover is just so badass. Thank you so much, Jack, for sending this my way. And then Quirk Books sent me Hunters of the Lost City by Callie Wallace. This looks so good. It says 12-year-old Octavia grew up believing the town of Victoria was the only one left in the world. The sole survivors of a deadly magical war and plague, the people of Victoria know there's no one alive outside the town walls except the terrible monsters that prowl the forest. Middle grade horror. You gotta love it. I cannot wait to dive into this one. Have I said I cannot wait to dive into each and every one of these books? I am so sorry if I have, but hey, whatever. In the month of March, I discovered a new publishing company that I had never heard of before, and I think it was through an Instagram ad. And when I saw the cover and the description of the short stories in the book, yes, it is short stories, so you know that I had to be captivated by that cover and description to buy it. I ended up buying 2 books from this publishing company, or from the publishers. And funnily enough, 2 weeks later, I ended up entering a giveaway on their Instagram page and won. So I have 3 books to show you from Quill and Crow Publishing. The book that drew me in to their website and to order from their website is actually Arrows and Thanatos, and it is an anthology of death and desire. If you guys know me, and even if you do know me, I don't think many people know that I am like a hopeless romantic, but like in a dark sense. And just seeing this, that it had to do with like love and death, and I just was hooked. And this cover, now I have since read about 6 of their stories in here, and each one of them was incredible. I still have not read a story from in here that I had been disappointed by. They are so good, and I cannot wait to dive into the rest of these. The other book that I bought when I did make a purchase was Ravens and Roses, and it's a woman's gothic anthology. This is what it looks like. I saw women's gothic anthology, and I said sold. And you guys know that I don't like short stories a lot, although lately I have been more open to them, but these I just had to have because of the covers. And then not only the covers, I mean, yes, the covers, because this one I just could not pass it up. And I got so mad when I went on their website. They had a sale of some books that the color of the covers came out wrong, and it was a pink color. I wish I would have gotten my hands on that one because it looked like perfection with this cover. So these are the 2 that I bought, and then the one that I won is called Haunted. This is all about, it's a short story collection and poem collections all about haunted things. It says 15 authors, 12 poets, 1 theme, haunted. So it's such a beautiful book as well. It's like that like rubbery feel to it, and it is a hardcover, and it's printed on the hardcover. I love books like this that don't have an actual dust jacket and it's just printed on the cover. Oh my gosh, those books drive me crazy. So I cannot wait to continue on with Arrows and Thanatos and dive into the rest of these. You guys check them out. I will leave their Instagram linked down below if you want to check them out, but they are dark, deep kind of stories. At least this one is, and I am just eating it up. And then the rest of these I just bought off of Amazon. Actually, you know what? I did buy a book off of Pango Books, my first book off of Pango Books, and I think at the moment I have bought 2 books. But this one is Dreams of the Dying. I spoke about this in my Tome Topple TBR, and I've spoken about this at some other points, but I heard about this book through Brittany. She raves about this book, and so I just had to have it. It's like a dark fantasy kind of novel, and I'm all about it. I haven't read the synopsis. I have yet to read this. Tome Topple finished last month and I never got to it, but I'm hoping to get to it really soon, and this cover is just insane. And then the rest of these I just bought off of Amazon. This next book I bought because I heard Chelsea Palmer talk about this book, and she says how this is the trilogy that inspires so many YA fantasy romance books. I'm not sure if she specifically mentions YA fantasy books, but I know she talks about ACOTAR and all these like well-known fantasy romance novels, that this is where they take their inspiration. This is like the OG fantasy romance novel. I don't know why I say fantasy romance. It's fantasy with romance tropes in it, but it is the Black Jewels trilogy by Anne Bishop. This is a bind up of the whole trilogy, and when I heard that it's the OG of romance fantasies, I had to have it because I eat a good fantasy novel up with romance tropes in it. I eat it up. So I had to have it. I cannot wait to read this. This has Daughter of the Blood, Heir to the Shadows, and Queen of the Darkness. I love ACOTAR so much that I just had to get this when she talked about the inspiration coming from that trilogy or that series from this book. The next book I bought was The Time Watchers by Robbie Miles. I think this has to do with like a few friends that have a sleepover one night, and when they wake up the next morning, one of the friends are missing and it leads them on an evil path. And I heard people raving about this on Instagram, and I had to have it because the cover, number one, and it just sounds pretty amazing and right up my alley. The Deloriad by Missouri Williams. My friend Nina was talking about one of this author's other books, how dark it was, and so she went ahead and bought this one. I've never read anything by this author, and I don't know much about what goes on in this book, but she said that she's heard that it was disturbing, and so I was like, in my cart it goes. I bought Premeditated Myrtle by Elizabeth C. Boons, or Boonsey. I don't know how to say this, but this just popped up as a suggestion on Amazon, and I really liked the cover to it. And I need more middle grade in my life, even though I have a whole entire bookcase full of unread middle grade books, but I needed one more because this just looks so cute. Introducing Myrtle. Introducing Myrtle Hardcastle, your favorite new amateur detective, a wickedly smart 12-year-old with a keen interest in criminology and a nose for murder. So right up my alley. This could have been me at 12 years old. And the last book that I purchased off of Amazon in March was Battle Royale by Koshun Takami. And this is a classic dog-eat-dog story. And I'm all about this. I've heard that this book is basically the Hunger Games on steroids, and I've heard that actually the Hunger Games is plagiarized from this book. I don't know how true that is. The author of the Hunger Games swears up and down that she had never heard of this prior to writing her book. I don't know the tea about that, but I know that I love the Hunger Games so much. This is about a group of junior high kids that get thrown on this island, and they basically have to kill each other off until there's only one survivor left. I'm all about those kinds of books. I love them so much. This book has been banned, I think, multiple times if I'm not mistaken. It's criticized as violent exploitation when first published in Japan. And so I needed to have it. I've been wanting to read this for so long, and I actually was reading it this month. I was buddy reading it with two other friends of mine. My friends have since finished reading this book, and I am still like in the first part, but I had to put this book down for a little bit to finish some other books, but I'm back on this. I'm loving it so far. I'm only 100 pages in, and I'm obsessed with this book already. All right, moving on to the books that I bought in April. This is going to be quick because my battery is flashing, and again, I didn't buy that many books in the month of April. The first book that I bought is 9 Lives. This was for the book troop for the month of April. I was one of the co-hosts for the book club for the month. The live show is already out for this. We have already read this. It was a sucky ass book, 2 stars, and it is in my wrap up as well. I will link the wrap up in the cards and the live show as well as in the description box if you want to check it out. I'm sure you've seen it already, but it was a shit show. Not the live show, the book. I bought this graphic novel on Amazon on a whim. I was looking for horror graphic novels and this popped out. I have already read this and I loved it so much. It is The Nice House on the Lake. This is amazing. This is apocalyptic, but I will say though that this will leave you with a lot of questions. You basically don't get any answers in this graphic novel, and I cannot wait till volume 2 comes out because this one just released recently. Obviously all the individual issues are out, but this is just a bind up of the first, I don't know if it's the first 5 or 6 issues of this graphic novel, but this was fantastic. I went to Barnes & Noble when they were having their sale of buy one, get one 50% off or something like that. I ended up getting My Dearest Darkest. I believe I was on a live show with Sav and Ashley spoke about this book, or was it? So one of them spoke about this book. So I ended up buying it. And then I also bought The Library of the Dead. I've been wanting to read this forever. I love the cover and I don't know much about it other than I like the cover and I needed it. And then I had to pick up this copy of The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, which was a Barnes & Noble exclusive. This is one of my favorite books of all time. So I needed to have this pretty edition. There's also a blue one. And I don't know how much I need the blue one, but I know I want it a lot just to have in my collection. But do I need it? Probably not, but we'll see. But I just had to have it. It has like a little ribbon thing and it has extra pages or an extra like bonus content in here. I got sent this book by Vesuvian Books, which is a publishing company, and it's River of Ashes. You guys, look at this cover, how beautiful. Some truths are better kept secret, some secrets are better off dead. That's all I'm gonna say. This is all I want to know. When they contacted me and I read the synopsis, I was like sold. So thank you so much, Vesuvian Books, for sending this my way. And then lastly, let's talk about April's Nightworms package. I am so excited to read these books. I'm actually working on a Nightworms reading vlog where I'm going to read all 3 of these books. I have never been so inspired to do a Nightworms reading vlog than I was with this package. All of these books, I don't know, they're just calling out to me. So you will see these being read in a reading vlog. Keep an eye out on that. The first book that we got is And Then I Woke Up by Malcolm Devlin. Look at this. Yes, I need this so much. A beautiful exploration of the seductive power of narrative and the toxic influence of propaganda. That was blurred by Mira Grant. We also got The Doctor's Demons by Maria Abrams. The denizens of hell are angry with Hannah. Look at that cover. Sick. Disgustingly sick. And then we got All These Subtle Deceits by C.S. Humble. Look at that cover. That is amazing. Drawing inspiration from iconic demon possession horror elements, Humble crafts a remarkably fresh take on demonology, circumventing religiosity in order to combat evil in a way that will excite fans of the genre. Strikingly unique storytelling voice coupled with intricate plotting and detailed characters. That was blurbed by Sadie Hartman, which is co-owner of Nightworms. That's what she said about this book, so I'm so eager to read these. Again, this will be a Nightworms reading vlog coming to you really soon. So that's it, you guys. Those are all the books that I bought these past couple of months. I love shopping for books. Let me know if you've bought anything recently. What was your latest bookish purchase? Let's talk about books in the comment section down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.